What's going on, Longhorns? Welcome to an On Texas Football Weekend Edition recruiting update. We got a fun video today. Hey, I was hanging out with a little bit of the California Power 7-on-7 team. We knew that they were coming in this weekend to visit Texas. They're on campus. As I'm recording, you will see this over the weekend, of course, but Friday afternoon, they made the trip, hung out for about 3 or 4 hours to the University of Texas, hung out with the staff, hung out around campus, saw DKR, the facilities, etc. Later on in the video, you'll see a quick little 5-6 minute video or interview with Brandon Brown, the Texas commit, the defensive line commit out of Uvalde, Florida. A really cool interview, really cool kid to talk to. Big message there with Brandon Brown is Texas is going to have to recruit through the whistle. That's not a surprise to anybody that's been following this one. Of course, since the departure of Bo Davis to LSU, LSU is going to be involved. You can expect Tennessee, USC, both of them have official visits set at the moment for Brandon Brown. But really cool time. He's a great kid. And, of course, the big moment that Texas is hoping to see this weekend is Kenny Baker and Brandon Brown getting together, starting that relationship a little bit. And then, obviously, Sarkisian, Tashard Choice, Jeff Banks, the heavy hitters on this staff who went out to see him at high school in early February. That's going to be the maintained relationship that Texas is hoping to bank on in this one. But aside from Brandon, who, again, you'll see that interview coming up later in this video, there were a number of big prospects on this California Power team, really, really national team, I would say, national assortment of prospects, despite having the name California. You know, I was anticipating more of the West Coast top talent guys that you would see. But hey, when you go out and you grab a 5-star defensive line prospect like Brandon Brown out of Florida to your 5-on-5 roster, I mean, you can go out and do that to just about anybody else on the roster, anybody else in the country. So California Power, their staff is tremendous. There's a lot of talent on that team. A couple names I wanted to mention: Lincoln Cure, the tight end out of Goodland, Kansas. One that Texas offered March 1st. That was Jeff Banks that went out there, offered him earlier this month, the first day of this month, actually. Right now, it sounds like there's going to be 3 schools that receive official visits, at least right now: Penn State, Oregon, and Kansas State. Those are going to be 3 locked in at the moment. This is his first trip down to Austin. Texas, of course, in the mix right now to add a second tight end to Emory Winston, whether that be Nick Townsend, Keody Armstrong, or Keandre Johnson out of Terrell. So we'll see where that goes. Those are the 3 in-state guys that Texas is kind of monitoring at the moment. Lincoln Cure, another guy. We'll see if, you know, the allure of the SEC, you know, kind of takes him away from that Midwest in Kansas State. The other one is Sal Reyes out of DeSoto. This might be a familiar name. His older brother is actually Antonio Johnson, defensive back, played for Texas A&M. He has ties to the Midwest as well. Came up from Illinois, moved down to DeSoto this past season. I actually saw his first game as a Texas high school football player this past year against Allen. DeSoto, you know, kind of mopped the floor with them. But that just is more a testament to the team that DeSoto was this past year. He tells me that he's actually been in contact with Texas and Blake Gideon, potentially to the fact where you might see an official visit locked in over the weekend. He says right now, Texas A&M, and Miami, those 3 schools are the one that he's really looking at to schedule an official visit for this summer. So getting him on campus might not sound like a big deal coming into the weekend. Right now, it does look like Texas will push for an official visit, and it is one that he is looking to get back in schedule. So the other DeSoto prospect I wanted to mention was Dalen Singleton, currently the SMU commit, wide receiver prospect out of the DFW area, really talented prospect. Again, I saw him earlier this year, continuing that strong stretch of DeSoto wide receivers. When you talk about Jonte Cook, obviously, and Steven Johnson, who ended up at Oregon before going over to Houston. So really talented prospects. He is locked in with SMU, of course, went through the visit at Texas too. So not much movement I would expect there. Josh Petty, the talented offensive lineman, flew straight to Houston. He did not see the University of Texas's campus. And the other big prospect that did not come in that Texas was hoping to see with California Power was Matai Tagoe, the big-time front 7 prospect out of California. Listen, the staff loves him, and the staff is really going to push for him as well. Unfortunately, he did not, or I guess he switched teams from California Power over to a different 7-on-7 club right before this tournament, so he did not make the trip as well. One new name that did make the trip was top 50 2025 national prospect Jordan Young out of Monroe, North Carolina. I believe he's the number 4 safety in the country per the 24/7 composite ratings. Really talented player. I was able to see him and talk to him just a little bit. Really lengthy. Had been in contact with Texas in the fall, not so much as the fall kind of wrapped up and we moved into the winter. So if there's an opportunity, I think he would be certainly receptive to the Texas staff getting a little bit more interested as per our conversation this earlier today. So interestingly enough, really talented group coming in. And hey, California Power going over to Houston tomorrow, or I guess Saturday and Sunday for their 7-on-7 and 5-on-5 tournament. Wish them the best of luck because they were great. I will be seeing them again the first week of April when they head back to Dallas for an OT overtime football tournament up there as well. But hey, kick back, relax your feet. It's the weekend, by the way. Hope your bracket's not looking as bad as mine, but hey, enjoy this Brandon Brown interview with myself. He was great, and make sure you enjoy it.
What are you excited to see?
I want to meet Coach Baker, see how the program is, see how it all comes together.
Yeah. So first time down here, first time getting to see, Coach Baker, Coach Sarkisian. Talk a little bit about your relationship with the two of them and, how excited it is to finally put, face to the name.
Well, I've been waiting to meet Coach Baker.
Yeah.
Coach Sark came to see me in the spring. So I got to vibe with him a little bit. I talked to him on the phone a lot. Yeah. So I got a great connection with him, I feel like.
So we talked a little bit about Sarkisian, Banks, and Choice coming down to see you in person at school. I mean, were you surprised that the three of them coming down to see you? It felt like they brought the A team to come see you.
Yeah, there's a lot of great energy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What was kind of the standout moment for you there?
Just them coming out there to see me, bringing all your big guys, the head coach. So that was big.
And then I want to rewind a little bit because we talked about this a little bit earlier. The athleticism. I mean, the size. You said it skipped your mom, came from your grandparents. Talk a little bit about just, were you surprised that at this size, at this age, you could do the things you do?
So when I was younger, I always played 2 divisions higher than me. I never played with my age group. So
Really?
Yeah. So I was always just playing with older talent, learning things from older people. So I was kind of used to it. And my brother, he takes a big part of me.
Was there a moment in your football career that you're like, okay, I'm going to be pretty good? Was it always just playing up? You're like, all right, I got this.
Yeah.
That's it?
So 1 year, before so we had seniors, junior rookies before we get to so seniors is the highest level. So 1 year I stayed down. It was just too easy for me. I stopped playing 2 divisions up and it just got easy, Super Bowl and everything.
So they basically just said, if he's on the field, we're running that way away from him. And were you ever able to carry the rock at all?
Yeah, I played running back when I was growing up.
Did you?
Yeah.
So if you've been following the NFL draft, Byron Murphy, Texas guy going to the league, projected first-round guy from the defensive tackle spot, a guy that I see a lot of in your film, was a running back in middle school as well.
Yeah.
What do you think about being a running back in the day now translates to your game as a defensive tackle?
Playing my foot, getting good, turning my hips, running, great thing. Yeah. Yeah. So being able to track somebody down. Yeah.
Just being a pure athlete, basically. Yeah. Absolutely. I want to get to Texas because you asked about the barbecue down here. About Austin, I guess, more so itself. Is something about the big city, is that something that kind of intrigued you originally? I know this is your first trip down here, but what do you think about going to a place that, has kind of the bright lights and the opportunities outside of football, stuff like that?
I feel like it would be great for me, especially on what I want to study. I probably want to do real estate or have a business. Or do sports medicine.
Okay. What got you interested in real estate?
I always just growing up watching, I used to watch house shows, tiny homes and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, HGTV action, huh?
Yeah.
House Hunters International.
Yeah.
The wife always picks the house. That's how that goes. So, but to your broader recruiting, you've been committed to Texas for a while, but that hasn't stopped schools from coming in and recruiting you and really trying to get you down to campus and stuff like that. Just real quick, could you kind of update us on who some of those 3 or 4 teams are that are really trying to get you down and pry you away from Texas?
Really, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU, who else? Miami.
Yeah.
A couple schools. USC, it's a big one. Yeah.
Mentioned LSU. Obviously, the connection to Coach Bo Davis is there. Is he still talking to you every day, trying to get you down Death Valley?
Yes, sir. He's trying to get me up there next week, actually.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that, I guess, in the plans, or is that dependent on 7-on-7? Is that?
Depends on my mom, actually. See what her schedule is.
Got it. And then what else? What other visits do you have for the spring coming up?
For the spring, I'm just traveling with Cali Power right now.
So wherever the team goes, that's where you're headed.
Mm-hmm.
And then update us one more time on your official visits. Tennessee, USC, Texas.
Yes, that's it. Those two.
And Texas is June 14th?
I just threw Florida in there.
Okay. Yeah. Is that the first week of June or that last week of May?
Yeah.
May okay. 31st. So May 31st, Florida. Tennessee, June 7th. Mm-hmm. Texas, June 14th. And USC, June 21st.
Yes.
Hey, you're going to be racking up the miles a little bit, spending some more time in airports and hotels. So that's exciting stuff. One more thing about you and your game, because I think a lot of folks watch your game and your tape and say, all right, this kid just throws around people. You're like the Hulk in the Avengers whenever you're in the line. You start flinging bodies around. Mm-hmm. What's next for your game in terms of development and getting to that next level?
Going hard every play, no plays off, sprint to the ball, leading my team. Making sure I'm in the right place, make it easier for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just compete.
Absolutely. And then in terms of this 2025 Texas class, KJ Lacey's coming in this weekend as well. He'll be doing the Elite 11 Austin throwing competition. Do y'all talk often with, guys like Lance and Anthony, Emery even?
Nah, some of us follow each other on Instagram, but that's probably about it.
Okay. So I guess still a little room to grow and kind of develop those relationships a little bit as well. But hey, one last question for On Texas Football. Again, we are in the makings of, or we've been wanting to do our own ratings, and Jerry and I have both watched your tape and said, all right, this is a 5-star caliber guy.
Yeah.
He's got it going on. Do you want, or is there a time in your recruitment where you just want to say, all right, I'm completely done with the visits, I'm done with everything? Is it just a continual, we'll see how everything goes?
I like to see how everything goes, because it's a lot. Yeah, like some days it's a lot, but you just got to, if I want to make my decision, I got to go see what it is.
Like it, subscribe, and head on over to On Texas Football for the rest of the week. We'll be having updates, basketball conversations. Please don't ever bring up my bracket again. It's done. It's gone. I don't want to ever talk about it again. But, hey, enjoy the rest of the weekend and hook 'em.